This simple spreadsheet model went 6-2 in round 1, game 1 of NBA playoffs. And in last night's game, round 1, game 2, it went 2-1. Here is a record for my spreadsheet model, which I'm going to show you today. We're going to use this model to make predictions for tonight's games, April 23rd, and tomorrow night's games on April 24th. Here's our spreadsheet. I'm going to go ahead and show you what it predicted for the Cavaliers and Magic, which were played last night. It said the Cavaliers were 7.5-point favorites for that game. The spread was -5 for the Cavs, so the fact that this was higher than that, a bigger negative number, means we would pick the Cavs in this case. The model picked the Cavs, and since the Cavs won by 10 points, the model picked this correctly. The next game was the Knicks versus 76ers. The model thought the Knicks were 4.5-point favorites, but because the line for last night's game was 5.5, that means we picked the 76ers because they got more points in their spread, and in this case, we actually won this game. For the Nuggets versus the Lakers, it thought the Nuggets were 13.5-point favorites for the model, and because the spread bet was -7, we would pick the Nuggets again. We know this was a very close game, won by a last-second shot, so in this case, this is the one that the model missed. For tonight's games, April 23rd, we have the Timberwolves versus the Suns. The model thinks the Timberwolves are 4.8 points better than the Suns, and because the actual spread on this game is -3, we would pick the Timberwolves to cover the spread. For the Bucks versus the Pacers, the model thinks the Bucks at home are 7.2 points better than the Pacers, and because the spread line is 1 point, we would pick the Bucks here. For this game, the model thinks the Clippers are 2.5 points better than the Mavs. Because the betting line is at 1.5, that means we pick the Clippers here in this matchup according to the model. This is where it gets interesting. According to the model, it's giving the Celtics 13.2 points at home versus the Heat. Now, the actual spread line on the sports books is 14.5 points. So according to the model, it does not think the Celtics will cover that spread. So in this case, we pick the Heat at plus 14.5. And for this last game on April 24th, the model thinks the Thunder at home are 7.3 points better than the Pelicans. Now the spread line in the sports books is 7.5 points. So again, the model doesn't think it's going to quite get there. It's very, very close. But in this case, the model will pick the Pelicans at plus 7.5. That's it for the model. Let's look at a summary for all these picks. So here's a summary of the picks we're going to make for the next 5 games. Again, April 23rd and April 24th. We're going to pick the Wolves at -3. We're going to then pick the Bucks at -1. Thinks the Bucks are going to win by 7 points. And the Clippers at -1.5. Now for tomorrow night's games, the 1 versus the 8 seeds, it thinks that the Celtics are going to win by 13.2 points. So that means that we would pick the Heat, getting 14.5 points as our spread bet. The model thinks that the Thunder are 7.3 point a favorite, so the plus 7.5 means we go with the Pelicans. So those are our 5 bets. We're going to see how this works out, and we'll all be back here to make a video before Game 3 to see how these 5 games work out. So that's it for this video. Can't wait to see these 5 games. The NBA playoffs have been very exciting so far with some really exciting games last night, some game-winning buzzer beaters. Can't wait to see how this model does tonight and tomorrow night. And this weekend, either Saturday or Sunday, I'm going to make a video that shows you how I actually made this model and what the formulas are behind all those cells and how we get the spread bet, how we get the spread lines and the total lines and all that. That's going to contain scraping some data, using a little bit of Python, and also using Excel. See you in the next video.